Alright, so this video is for all the young primals out there. I get a lot of questions about this. Generally, they can't eat the diet because they live at home. Whether it's people who are over 18 and young, still living at home, or people under 18 and living at home. Obviously, two different circumstances, but there is one main solution. And I know this may run contrary to the train of thought and I wouldn't call them thought leaders, but you know, a lot of people are here through goatees, and he's got you all thinking if you work a job, you're going to be a slave the rest of your life. And that's just not true. I'll explain why. And look, if you're living at home and your parents won't let you eat healthy food, then guess what? So you already are kind of a slave if you live at home, because you're subject to somebody else's whims, because you don't have your own self-sufficiency, right? And I'm not saying run away from home. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just telling you to get a job, right? And you can get a job that puts you in close contact with the type of foods you want to eat. For instance, working at a butcher shop, even if it's just being a cashier, you're going to get discounts, right? A seafood department or a butcher department of a grocery store, same deal. Even just working at a grocery store that doesn't have those things, like I said, you're going to get discounts and access. Go to a farmer's market in your area, talk to some of the stalls, ask them questions about their produce or what they're selling, see if they need help either at the stall or on the farm. Even if you get a job working somewhere like Starbucks or McDonald's or whatever, you know, it's still going to give you money and freedom to do those things, buying the food you want, saving up and buying a car so you can go do Help X or Woof on farms, help farms like Healthfully Farm in upstate New York. They always need help, and there's good food there. It's also going to give you more skills and experience in terms of what you want to do or not want to do. The other thing you can do, if your parents have an open mind, is give them the books to read so they can understand where you're coming from. And it's important that you read the books as well, so you have a foundation and can speak intelligently to them and why you want to do this. So if your parents won't read the books, if they won't listen and support you, it is what it is. But if it's something you really want to do, you're going to find a way to make it work. And as I said, working at those jobs is really going to help you do that, because it's going to give you freedom from outside the home, and it's going to give you freedom to choose what you spend your money on, right? You're not subjected to whatever your parents are going to buy you. So it's a lot of good things. You can start making and saving money and skills and networking. Just because you're working at Starbucks or McDonald's or a grocery store doesn't mean you're going to work there the rest of your life, right? It's not entirely useless either to invest in education if you'd like, if that's something you like to do. Engineering, you know, STEM basically. Also goes for agricultural sciences. You know, if you do go to university, you could start a raw foods club or a Weston A. Price chapter and find other people who feel the same way you do. It's becoming more common among young people. I'm sure you would have success with this. And, you know, you could start a small business doing milk runs or food runs for people, you know. Not that every college student has the bucks to do that, but some do. So for what it's worth, there you go. Like I said, make sure your parents understand where you're coming from. You're not going to be there forever either, so if you can't, sometimes some battles are not worth fighting. But like I said, that's up to you. So you can get those jobs at those places. And those are decent jobs. Those are jobs you can learn. So if you travel, if you decide to move, especially if your parents aren't supportive of you, You can say, oh, I already know how to work at a butcher's place, or you already know how to work at a Starbucks or a McDonald's. The hospitality industry is another one where you can move around a lot. Working for a chain of hotels, nice hotels. Working on a farm. You can get good references and travel around working on farms, eating healthy food. Okay, there's a lot of options. You just have to make it work. I think because you young people grew up with the world in your face and at your fingertips, you see a lot of these people have this success almost instantaneously. Some of them, yes, got lucky, but you can't get lucky if you don't try. So you have to try. But yes, a lot of people, they're living off trust funds and, flashing stuff and saying, buy my course and I did this, and it's just their parents paid for it. So it's pretty easy to spot. But there are, genuine people who've had success. And it's not that being an online content creator isn't a venue for that. It's just, it's hard to do. Take it to somebody who's had tremendous, I wouldn't say tremendous success, but success enough that, I have it's the most watched documentary on the primal diet for someone who isn't androgynous, right? And I've had almost 10,000 TikTok followers. And I've talked to other people on TikTok who have a lot of followers in post, and the money is not usually enough unless you're selling something else. So YouTube can be good, yeah, but again, it's a grind. You got to get there, and you got to make your content engaging, whatever content it is that you decide to do. So I just want to say that, because I know a lot of people look at that as a way out or as a way, and you might get some of those skills that are good that translate, but generally just talking into a camera is not something. You're getting half of the rhetoric experience. You have a digital audience you can vibe off of, but that's much different than speaking in person. And that's what you're going to have to do in life, is speak to people, whether it's for an interview, to hire people, to make connections. So you need to be versed in real life communication and experiences, right? So again, I don't want to poo-poo anybody's hobbies or side hustles or dreams, but just be realistic to do this kind of thing while you have a job, right? So I currently work, several jobs, and half of those are in agriculture, so I have access to good food sources, right? So that is a really big help. Like, I work for a farmer's market. I get all my produce for free during the summer, basically, because I don't drink vegetable juice, really. But in the spring and the fall I do, but in the dead of the summer I'm not. I'm doing hydration formulas, which everything I get for free. So I've networked with people to get eggs, to get dairy. I could get meat from. So like I said, building a network with agriculture people is very useful. It has a high chance of success, so it's a good investment of your time in your area, because you get to know people and you get to know the food sources and the quality. So there's that. I also work on other things above and beyond this and what I do with the Primal Diet organization, doing the conference and all that are going to make it worth my time. And it's a big sacrifice, but it's going to pay off. So again, you've got to try different things. You got to build your skills, and doing that is going to make you more free than anything. Because if you can become self-sufficient, you're not going to have to worry about biting the hand that feeds you. You're not going to be trapped in one job. You're going to be able to job hop if you want. You're going to be able to have those skills and network connections to start your own business. So you got to think about it like that. This idea of, I don't want to work a job because I'll be a slave, is really stupid. And I guess it appeals. There's a part of that pseudo philosophical, quasi nihilistic diarrhea spew that appeals to some people, which has a degree of truth to it, but in reality it's you know, not really so much the case. So that's pretty much all I got to say. If you got questions or comments, leave them below. If there are any other primal unks who have life experience, who want to maybe say I'm right, agree with me, offer their own experience for the young people, just leave it in the comments. I do reply to comments, guys, so if you're still watching, which maybe most young people aren't because it's 10 minutes now, but yeah, I do reply to comments. That's a good way to answer questions. Otherwise, you know, it's mostly Patreon or whatever if I'm feeling generous on another platform. So that's about all. I hope it helps, and good luck to you.